Yo, what is going on? It's a good night. It's nothing personal. It's just Bills, hosted by myself, JTM. See who I got in the locker room today. I got my man, NFL resident running back James Mallory. It's like to call it NFL pedigree Mal. What's going on, my man?
What's up? What's up, man? Let's get it, man. You know I'm excited to be on tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little running backs. Like we got our resident PFF guy, Mr. Analytical, Mr. Antagonistic, Mr. I hate Trey White in the building. EJ Daniels. What's going on, man?
Man, don't do me like that, man. But how y'all
Trey
doing,
hate.
man? Nah, don't do me like ain't no hate, man. All facts, bro.
We
All
got
facts.
we got my man Trey Songs, the Trey Day, and we got my man right here, Trey Hate. Straight Trey
Oh,
Hate.
man. Is it hate or is it just me reporting
I,
facts and stats?
I don't know. Man, I'm not one to judge. I'm not here to judge you, man. I'm just saying. All right. But we're gonna talk a little Bills. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Jeff Weir, what's going on? Mark Davis in the chat. I'll have my chat running on the side as far as I'm in my personal page, because on my personal page, for some reason, the comments don't pop up, but you're just as important. Don't think you're any less important. So, guys, we got to talk about this W we got on Sunday, 35-0. The Bills knocked two out the game. They were physical, beat the Dolphins up, squished the fish, however you want to call it, popped the tuna can. I don't know. It killed Free Will. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it, it happened. They got the W. Motor looked good. So a couple of things we're going to talk about tonight. Motor looked good. I do want to talk about Cole Beasley because I got a couple of concerns about my man Cole. You know, I know a lot of people I talk about, but I got a couple of concerns about him. And we're also going to talk about, we have that segment that we love, Bad Takes. We'll be doing that segment at, it's like 9:30. Let's say 10 o'clock. We do bad segments at 10. Bad takes at 10 o'clock. So if you guys haven't seen that, that is a funny segment. It's one of the funniest segments out there. It's where I personally go out and find bad takes of the week, and we don't put people's names on blast because we don't like bullying, but it is pretty funny. So guys, Bills came out as we wanted to see. Good teams, when they lose games, they come out angry and they usually beat the holy hell out of the next team they play. And that's exactly what Buffalo did. They beat the holy hell out of them. And I mean, wow. Did we expect that kind of performance? EJ, I'll start with you, man. I'm gonna get off of a good note tonight, man. What? We're gonna do something positive.
I definitely expected them to win 35-0. I was not expecting that. I had pegged the game as 27-21 Buffalo. I thought Miami would be able to, move the ball a little bit, but you've seen as the game progressed, I mean, even with the beginning snaps, but Miami was under pressure pretty much the whole game. I mean, Buffalo's defense did not let up at all. Teron Johnson came out with a sack. I felt like pretty much everybody on this defense had a sack, and that's the type of defense, that Sean McDermott has been wanting to build, one that just gets pressure, each and every down, and that's what they did. But and as far as the offense too, I thought they had a great performance. They did it through the ground and through the air. That is the most encouraging thing that I've seen. One of the biggest criticisms that I've had about the Bills is that they're not balanced, but I felt like this game here was a pretty balanced attack, and they got the job done, 35-0.
Yeah, I mean, they set the tone. I mean, they came out, they let everybody know, like, hey, we for real. Week one, don't judge us by week one. And, good teams and teams that's really contenders, that's how you set the tone after it. AJ Epineza, he looked like he's going to be something, man. I liked him coming out of Iowa. Him and Rousseau, I mean, that's obviously the future at the ends. Those two, that if we talk in the 2 seasons, that may be the best tandem in the NFL. I mean, that's realistic. That's really realistic, guys. I mean, those two can be something very, very special. The offense, I mean, it's a great sign when people are sitting there complaining about the offense and the offense isn't clicking, but you still win 35-0.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what people want is 72-0. I mean, these are professional football players as well. They're not just going to let you walk up and down the field on them now. But, I mean, we want 35-0, and people say our offense is sputtering. I'll take that all day, every day.
Yeah, and to your point, James, it's just like people want the high flying offense like every single game, and it's just like you can win the game by running the ball too. That's fine. I mean, you have 30 rush attempts, and Josh have 20 pass attempts. Like I'm fine winning that way too. You rather see Buffalo win the game than them air it out 50 times and not win the game. Like they are finding ways to win, and that's like I said, that's the most encouraging thing I saw. They are able, and they are looking for other ways to win besides just throwing the ball around the yard 50 times. Because when that's not working, when you're playing a defense like Miami's, you got to employ something different. Now, this one was a different, look, this was a different game. But when they start playing the Chiefs, the Bucks, the Washington next week, who has probably the best pass rush in the league, we're gonna have to employ some different strategies to win the game. So that wasn't very encouraging. Like, we can't have the high flying performances every single week, like James mentioned.
Well, let's be real here. Miami's strength, and not to cut you off, JT, but Miami's strength is probably a secondary. So let's be honest here. That cornerback tandem, they paying them a lot of money, so you can't throw for 350 yards a game on them. Duh, people. I mean, let's be real here. I mean, realistically, that's what they're built for. So, I mean, I think that we did a damn good job on Sunday.
And that's the thing, I'm glad you brought the point about how much money that they're paying. And I want to give a couple of shout outs here. Like I said, I'm going to give a couple of shout outs from my personal page, people tuning in. My guy, Rich Bando, Malik Bando was going on. Bando Eats. My man, Nate Turner from a Bills fullback. Nate Turner tuning in, man. Shout out to you and them Cornhuskers out there in Nebraska. So they do have two high paid corners, two of the highest paid cornerbacks in NFL, two of the better cornerbacks in NFL, and they still got dubbed 35-0. And that's why when a lot of people talk about allocating that money and bring that number 2 cornerback in and spend the money, I know, EJ, you've been on board with drafting one, which I'm not totally against, because that's not set. That's not money, allocating money. Miami, you've allocated, I don't know, I have to check and see how much a percentage you're capped to these 2 defensive backs, and you still are able to give up 35 points. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of points to give up. And they give a donut. I mean,
it wasn't like that. Xavier and Byron Jones was just getting scraped all game. Like, Josh got one off of an off-scripted play, which was a great play, by the way. They had 2 rushing touchdowns, and I can't remember the other ones. Like, and they turned the ball over a lot too. So they were also put in bad spots too. So it's just like, you can't play winning football that way. Miami's defense is clearly their strongest unit. But I mean, in this NFL in today's day and age, really a good defense means nothing if you can't score points. Your team is pretty much garbage if you don't have a O-line or you don't have a quarterback. And Miami has neither. So that's why.
Well, let's be real here, EJ. When you paying those cornerbacks that much money, you're not paying them to get beat 35-0, man. I hear what you're saying, but that's you paying those dudes to get turnovers and make plays for you so you don't get beat 35-0.
Which Xavier did.
I'm the GM of the Miami Dolphins.
Which Xavier did. Xavier did get a turnover, though. He did get a pick.
Did. And he always does against Buffalo. Yeah. It seems he always does.
He does, but we're talking 35-0 at the end of the day. You got to put, if you're getting paid that much money, you got to help put your team in position to succeed and score points. Period.
Right, and you know what? Cindy Martini Jackson brings up a good point in the chat too. Said vote. Greg Rousseau is up for Rookie of the Week. So if you guys not check that out, go check that out on Twitter and go vote. Bills Mafia, you know what y'all do. We any competition we in, we say we win the damn thing, because Bills Mafia go out there and just vote like crazy. It could be like, hey, who will look best at underpants? The Bills Mafia go and vote, and we ain't gonna win the best underpants contest. It don't even really matter. But no, that's my thing. Like, this is why you have to be careful of paying secondaries and allocating that money to secondaries. Like, personally, I don't care for the money that's allocated to the Bills defensive line. You know what I mean? But at least the defensive line can impact the game in a way that a secondary, in my opinion, cannot. Because I know you shake your head, but I feel like a defensive line can impact the game in a way a secondary cannot. They have 2 of the better cornerbacks in the league, and I think Xavier Howard and Byron Jones played a hell of a football game, both of them. I even think Javon Holland did okay. And you still it's still 35 still got put up on you, and you couldn't do anything on offense. That's why you have to be careful with allocating money. And that's why I continuously say, when people say Miami's going to be the Bills' rival moving forward, I say, I don't believe that. I still don't think they know what the hell they're doing over there. I don't. I really don't. I don't feel like they know what the hell they're doing.
But to piggyback off of your point, though, it's not, their team is trash, not because of their cornerbacks, though. That is probably the last place I would look. Xavier Howard probably plays Stephon Diggs probably the best you could possibly play him.
Right.
I mean, those are 2 top 5 guys going at it.
Right.
And that's what it looks like. Xavier got one off the slant. He undercut it for a pick. Stephon Diggs mossed him on his own. Like that's why it's not because of their cornerbacks that they're
No,
trash.
but it's in spite of their cornerbacks. That's the point I'm making, is that you have this much money allocated to your cornerbacks and you still can't stop anybody. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. So if a team coming out and they're running the football, or they're going across the middle, they're throwing it short, and the cornerback's having the impact, that's what I mean about why I say Miami is not that team that's going to compete with the Bills, because Chris Greer and Brian Flores, they look like they know what they're doing, but they don't. So at some point, you're going to pull the mask off them like Scooby-Doo and be like, y'all some imposters. And yeah, I do think Chris Greer and I do think Brian Flores. I think Flores is a solid coach, but I don't think he has any loyalty. I don't think he has any loyalty at all. I think he's actually the least loyal coach in the AFC East.
Over Belichick? No.
Over Belichick. Belichick is loyal to a point. To a point. All those players that said he wasn't loyal were let go normally when they were like 30, 31, when they won that final contract. Ty Law, Asante Samuel. It's certain Asante he didn't pay, he could have probably paid a little earlier, but he didn't. But Bill Belichick was pretty loyal to the point. It's just that, hey, if you ask for top dollar, yeah, he ain't a loyal. He'll meet you in the middle. But you say anything about top five, you gone.
Yeah, he tried to move off Tom Brady a little bit too early. That's just the one that rubs me the wrong way.
Well, you shouldn't have moved out Tom Brady ever, but
Exactly.
Buffalo, we gladly appreciate it. Thank you. Stay there in Tampa and keep firing off cannons. Way down there in the NFC, we see you down the line to be the Super Bowl. That's the last time we got to deal with you.
Right.
yeah. Dorothy, tap the two hills, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. I'll take Mac Jones, Garoppolo. I don't care who you throw back there. If it ain't Tom Brady, I ain't scared. That's just the way it goes. But no, I mean, I think that, to talk to your point, EJ, I think this team found a lot of balance yesterday. I was happy to see the running game incorporated. I was happy to see that even though we struggle, and James, I want you to touch on the running game, because like I said, that this is your category. Even though we struggled a little bit early at some points, we didn't go away from it. We stuck with it until we hit the home run. We stuck with, even when Zach struggled somewhat in the beginning. We stuck with it. We let him gain his confidence, and he finished the game with 2 touchdowns. So I think that that's the route we need to go. And just watching that Baltimore and Kansas City game the other night, Baltimore came back by just sticking with what they do. They didn't change anything. They didn't try to go shoot touchdown for touchdown. They stuck with what they did, and they came back. Buffalo needs to take heed of that. That whole league needs to take heed of that. But James, I want you to touch on my man Devin Singletary, man, because a lot of people gave my man Devin some hate all off season. Like I said, I'm not gonna say no names, but you know who you are. You saying you was posting hashtag anyone but Devin. Are you crazy? Are you out your mind? James, what's up with Motor?
I think he's 1,000-yard back in this league. I think he's a good running back in the NFL. He will have a 1,000-yard season, multiple, in my opinion. For whatever reason, for me, it feels as if Brian Dable isn't a fan of Devin Singletary. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like he's just personally not a Devin Singletary guy. It seems like he's more of a McDermott guy, but not a Brian Dable guy. That's how I feel. I think we'll get good use out of him this year. I think he'll be a 1,000-yard back. I think he will rush for 1,000 yards this year. And I also believe he'll really flourish once Brian Dable's gone after this year and Ken Dorsey is offensive coordinator. I think that's when he'll really, really take off. I just think that, just watching how he prepares in the offseason, he puts himself in position to succeed. A lot of guys, they'll go out there, they'll make good videos that look good for YouTube or Twitter and Instagram. You get a lot of likes and shares and all that. But this dude, he putting that work in, man. And he's becoming a better running back. He's doing things that translates to the field. He's not doing the cone drills and all that, which is cool, but to an extent. Now you got to start doing things that translate to the field, and that's what he does. His squat game is crazy. His legs are crazy strong. If you watch his squats, crazy strong. If you watch how quick he is, he's extremely quick. He reminds me of LaShawn McCoy in between the tackles. He can make people miss. He does a great job of that. And I think he's really, really, really going to be an asset, and we really have to start using him. And it even looked like he improved his pass catching ability as well. So I think Buffalo Bills fans kind of take him for granted at times. And not to take nothing from Zach Moss, but he's a lot better overall than Zach Moss. Trust and believe me.
James
I wouldn't go so far over and better than Zach Moss, but I mean,
They're different.
We can talk that now.
he
We had that
currently has
conversation.
a leg up. I will give you that. Currently has a leg up. Just not forget that Moss also came off an injury. So let's not forget that. So he wasn't fully healthy either. So he's getting his way back. And Devin Singletary had the preseason also to work himself into. He got most of the reps in preseason. But I just want to make a point. So I was doing my research today, and I looked and I wanted to see what the blocking grades were like from PFF for the Bills O line. And so the Bills O line is in the bottom 4 in both run blocking and pass blocking. But
Yeah.
yes, but their run grade. So the grade for just running, the running backs, what they're doing individually is like top 10, if I believe. So
Yeah.
Devin Singletary is doing a lot of this
On his own.
on his own, making people miss, making one per defender like he did, make one defender miss and go to the touchdown. He is, like James said, he's put in that work and is showing up on the field individually in spite of the blocking.
Well,
And that is the most
a great running back makes the line right.
Oh, he about
I
to
agree.
talk that talk.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. And he should definitely.
No, you
Oh
on
no,
mute.
he went out.
Can you hear me?
I
Yeah,
got you
good
now.
now.
We got you now.
Yeah, so
What?
like I was just saying, like he's doing a lot of this on his own, and he has one of the highest run grades. As we posted in our chat today, he's actually has the one of the highest yards per attempt and yards per rush. So again, Devin Singletary has put in the work and is showing up on the field. And right now, I will agree with you, he is the better back between him and Moss, but I don't think the margin is super significant. But Devin Singletary definitely has earned those RB1 reps, though. I will say that.
Well, they're definitely different, and I like it because they complement each other. Oh yeah, James. They complement each other, and they do different things. Like I said, when you get around that goal line, when you need that 4th and 1, when you need that 4th and 2, that 3rd and 1, or that 2nd and 1, that's Zach Moss time. And like I said, the other day, that was the first day we really saw business decisions. I don't know who that safety was for Miami, but he still failed that. I mean, he got ran. I mean, no, as a matter of fact, that was a linebacker, wasn't it? That was a linebacker I ran over on the goal line. I mean, as we call it back in the day, got biked, if you want to call it truck sticked, ran over, hit the hole, Marshawn Lynch MF in the face. I mean, it was ugly. I mean, Moss brought that business to him. I mean, he brought that business to him. Matter of fact, I think this is it right here. This man right here to the left got crushed. Someone check on him and make sure he's okay. He got crushed.
Right, man.
James talk.
Yeah, James, we still can't hear you, bro. Gotta get my man Mike right.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, it was insane, man. But like I said, there's that's we need both of them. And I think that's where people go wrong.
Yeah.
We definitely need both of them.
Yep.
Like they complement each other. And I'm not a fan of one running back in this league. Like for instance, Dalvin Cook got hurt. Dalvin Cook got hurt the other day. And now they're wondering if you're going to start Madison and what you're going to do in offense. I don't ever want to be in that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you depend on the running back that much. When someone go down, it's like, yo, what do we do our game plan? If the Titans lost Derrick Henry, what do you do? I mean, yeah, you still have AJ Brown and Julio Jones, but your whole identity is just shot. It's completely gone of who you are and what you do. And everything you do based off that is in trouble.
Yeah, and look at the Super Bowl teams. Look at the teams that are in the Super Bowl. They all employ 2 running back systems or multiple running back systems. Every single one of the Super Bowl teams. You know, and the Bills have a luxury of being deep at pretty much all the skill positions. And going back to my original point, because they have these 2 backs, they would benefit from employing a strategy where they will run the ball more. You know, and then on top of that, as James mentioned before, both of these guys, Zach Moss coming out of college, had a high PFF grade because he had one of the highest forced missed tackles per attempt. So did Devin Singletary. These guys can make people miss in the hole, and they can do a lot independently of their O lines. So why not give them the ball more? Why not utilize what the Ravens did against Kansas City to win? You know, and Brian Dable, I don't know what it is with him. I'm not going to question him. James, maybe you played in the league. Maybe you can help me out with this. I do not understand why he does not want to run the ball. I know everybody, like I said at my opening segment, I know everybody wants to see the high flying offense, but you guys rather win than see a high flying offense. I promise you
Yeah,
that. So I don't
yeah,
understand why they won't utilize the strategy.
I get it, and I'm with you, VJ. Sorry I cut out there, guys. My daughter was calling me back to back to back to back. So yeah, she was went home, so she called me back to back to back to say good night and messed up my stuff. But sorry about that, everybody. But what I kind of was saying was and the kind of I'm gonna touch on that as well. What I was saying was good running backs make the offensive line right. So if offensive linemen miss a block, you make them right. That's part of being a good running back, and that's what makes Devin Singletary special. Anybody can run behind the offensive line. They just create gaping holes. But it takes a special guy to be able to make your offensive line wrongs right. And that's what he does, and that's what makes him special. But in regards to running the ball, it might sound weird what I'm about to say, but I'm fine with what Dable does. Why? Because I want him to be himself. Because whenever he goes out of being himself, then we'll have a problem here. Whenever he's doing things that doesn't fit his style, now he's outside of his nature, and now he's going to be winging it. And the next thing you know, we get bad calls. We're going to be in bad situations. Stay true to himself. To be honest, we probably only got a year left of this, and obviously he was good enough to get us to 13-3. I think he's good enough to get us to the Super Bowl in regards to how he called things. I would like running the ball more. I'm a little biased. I'm a running back, but I think we should run it more. But I'm fine with the way he's doing things. I want him to stay true to who he is. Who is he? He's a guy who likes to throw the ball around with an elite quarterback, and I'm fine with that.
And to your point about staying true to himself, his way is the most efficient way to move the football. Throw it up 150 times if you can. In today's league, teams barely run. But again, when you're playing these better teams, and all I personally feel in being a great play caller is that you have to adapt to the situation that's going on in game. Now that maybe that falls on all the coaches, but that you have to adapt. Just like Sean McVay, his first couple years in the Rams, he could never adjust in game. He will always just run his system, run whatever plays he would want to run, but he wouldn't adjust. And so that's my thing for Dable. Why is it so tough, or why is it a different thing, or why is it such a stickle point to just adjust in game? If you're not moving the ball in the air, why not use these two running backs that you have that can make people miss, that can make your O-line look better, that can settle down the game, that can get Josh easier throws? And why not go that way? That's the biggest issue that I've had with him. And I understand what you're saying, James, and you definitely make a great point, because like I said, that's analytical ball. They play analytical ball. But I mean, I would like to see him run the ball more. And I feel like it needs to happen for them to beat the better teams.
Cody Wells puts hashtag keep Dable in the booth. I'm gonna get to some comments, and then we're gonna get ready for this bad take set. I know everybody's waiting for that. I'm gonna use the comments actually from my personal page. Like I said, for some whatever reason, the personal page comments does not come through the link. All right, so Ray Cruz just came through. I was gonna get the one of his. We need the run to be employed more so now until Allen settles in or down, and yet still employ the run. Right, correct. My man Daniel Robinson, shout out to the Breaking Barriers out there in Buffalo, nonprofit. Need that kind of intensity energy every week. He also says attack was pretty balanced. Still a bit concerned with the play calling in certain situations. Josh still doesn't look completely comfortable yet. Ray Cruz also makes a good point. The Bills will not make Yasubo as a 75-25 type offense pass run. I think he probably wants to go 60-40. I think he said that on one of the past shows. I think Ray Cruz said 60-40 is the number he's looking for. But, guys, I mean, I'm ecstatic about the running game. I hope we see more Devin. Like I said, you guys know I've been pounding the table for Devin Singletary for 2 years. You know what I mean? I legitimately have been pounding the table to get this kid more carries. I feel like he's dynamic. He definitely worked on his speed and offseason. You saw for that 46-yard run a year ago, he would have got caught around the 10. This year he kept it going. So as James said, he definitely put that work in. And James, you were saying in offseason, he was working with the best running back coaches or training facilities in the US.
Absolutely. We was with Delvin Cook and all of them. So they're putting in major work on the beach. They was putting work in. They punched that clock.
Yeah. So I was happy to see the running game. I mean, we had 3 rushing touchdowns. I don't know. I mean, normally we can see 3, but a lot of them, times it's 2 from Josh. It's not
Yeah.
3 from your back. So it was good to see that, and I'm hoping these boys keep it rolling. I mean, they look good. And like I said, once again, watching the ending to that Baltimore and KC game, the way to beat Kansas City and the way that the Browns almost beat Kansas City is you have to be able to run the football to keep the off the field. You can't go out and get there. And I know I've been saying this, and maybe I've been thinking about it more and more so lately. Maybe it's not the right move to get into a shootout with them. You don't get in the shootout with Andy Reid type team. Andy Reid type teams don't lose. You usually don't lose shutout. I mean shootouts. So, but guys, it's 10 o'clock. So you guys know what time it is. That means it is time for that segment that everybody's been waiting for and talking about. Bad takes of the week. I go around and I find three of the worst takes. And I think this week I'm gonna have to start adding more. I'm gonna have to start adding more takes to the show. But today, let's see. Our first take is this. I'm a diehard Bills fan, but Josh Allen is terrible. Paid 150 million guaranteed for Tyrod Taylor numbers, under 100 yards at halftime, overthrown receivers. We should be a 28 to nothing, but he always goofing off in practice, catching passes and dancing, shaking my head. Thank God for defense.
That's tough. That's
So
rough.
now fans know what we doing in practice, what they're doing in practice the whole time.
I mean, they do be taping. They do be taping the practices and taping them joking around. He not wrong. They do be joking
That's
around in practice, though.
It's called staying loose.
No, I mean, I'm not against it. I'm with it. I'm just saying he ain't wrong. That's all I'm saying.
That is pre-practice.
I mean, they can't even tape. You can't even tape the regular. You can't even tape practice. The
I mean,
plays and stuff.
if he going into practice unfocused, it's rightfully so to assume that he's going into actual practice unfocused.
That's BS. That is BS. When we was like 12-1 last year, whatever we was, no one cared when we was going MC Hammer dancing in the Colts, and everybody was all the teams having so much fun they lose.
Football is let's remember, football is a kid's game. You gotta have fun too, man. You can't just be the whole time. I mean, you gotta be loose too.
Yeah, get out of here with your Bill Belichick's, man. We're not Bill Belichicking over here. We're having fun and winning games and taking names. All right. Guys, by the way, if you're watching the show, please give me a. You see the button up there? A little thumb right above to the left of James up there. Like button thumb like this. Like it on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube, as my man Evan Zinger say. Ring the bell. Subscribe. Do what you got to do. I mean, please help us out here. So, bad take number 2 of the week. Remember, no names, because I don't want anybody getting bullied. And we always save the best for last. So take number 2 out of 3 is glad we paid Allen $258 million after one good year. That no fans, all caps, no fans were allowed, and a lot, all caps, of good players opted out. I think that is disgusted emoji and trash can emoji.
Do we want to touch that? Are we going to touch that? Are we going to talk about this?
Why, when we pay somebody, does it always come down to we gave them this much money? They have this much money. They're not doing this. Just because you get $258 million does not mean he's going to play good in 17 games a year for the next 10 years.
Why not?
You know what?
It's not gonna happen.
Hey, listen.
No.
Don't
you do it. I'm gonna stop your. Brady did not play good in every single game, every single year.
Remember that season when Brady started slow and everybody said he fell off? And he played
I was just gonna say the AFC Championship game, his last game in New England, 2 pick sixes. I remember very, very clearly. But how many bad games do you remember from Tom Brady? They're like few and far between.
That's the point. That's the point. When you have people like Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, and they got paid the money they got paid, you got paid because you assumed that they would play good the majority of the time, right? It's the majority of the time. It's
at least 85%. At least 85%.
And we're 2 games in. Okay, and I know we started off on a bad foot. we're a little bit of a
but
bad note.
I'm not seeing where people say he's playing bad. I mean,
He not playing. He not playing MVP level. I'll say that much. He not an MVP candidate. I'll say that.
No, he not MVP.
No, he's not MVP.
I'm saying I said bad. I said nothing about MVP. MVP never came out of my mouth.
He was the front. He was the front runner going into the season. If I'm not mistaken, he was the betting favorite to win. Either him or Mahomes were betting favorite to win MVP. He definitely ain't played like that.
No, he hasn't. That is true. That is true.
I'm not debating that. What I'm saying is I don't understand why people say he's playing bad. He's not playing MVP level. I agree there. That's why I mentioned MVP level. But I mean, what a lot of fans fail to realize is that these people are still human beings at the end of the day. And there's also 11 other people on the opposite side of the ball that get paid as well. They're not just going to let Josh Allen come in and do what he wants. They got pride, ego, and talent and ability too.
Bro, I was trying to tell Mookie that when we were on with Mookie. What was that? Last week or the week before?
I think 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago when I was like, yo, he's going to regress. And here's why. And Mookie was like, well, why does regression have to be like that? I said, sometimes regression don't even have to do with Josh. It could be, like you said, James, because of the other players, because defenses are going to play him differently. You know what I mean? Like they're going to show him different looks.
But just so you know, just because your stats isn't as good as the year before, that don't mean you regressed either. Let's just get that out of there. Statistical part that has nothing to do with it.
This is my problem with the regression part. We're going to get to the third and final take in a second. I'll say he has regressed in the first 2 games of the season, but it's 2 games. I saw Aaron Rodgers look like a guy who should have been retired in the first game of the year. Okay. At the end of the day, all 5 linemen in front of him have also regressed. And that's your biggest issue right now. I don't even think your biggest issue is Josh Allen. It's that literally all 5 linemen in front of him regressed to this point. Dion did not play good. Cody Ford did Cody Ford things. If you've been watching me, you know what that means. Mitch Morse, well, he's upright. He doesn't have a concussion, and he's been kind of solid. But still, he's still with the second, third highest paid center in the league. I expect more. John Feliciano, he's a bully until he gets bullied. And Darrell Williams, so far, thank God that contract is short term. And it's a way out of it. I'm just gonna say that about that.
Wow, you going that far already?
I'm just saying that it was a nice insurance policy to protect himself because at some point when he's playing, because Ogbo almost killed Josh Allen Sunday.
Yeah,
you may be seeing Spencer Brown in there at some point. That's all I'm gonna say there. And Mookie says, Mookie is in the chat. Mookie says crowd noise may be problematic for him. Maybe it's
but I thought that was white noise. I thought that wasn't a thing.
Oh, I never said that.
Me neither.
No, I never said that. I never said anything.
The mafia said it. The mafia said, "Where is this narrative coming from?"
You can't listen to the mafia.
They the ones who got the voice, bro. That's why
they one who got the money.
they the ones that's talking about Josh does well with crowd.
Matter of fact, Cody Wells said it on that show. Me and Mookie was on the show when he was on there. Cody said in that chat that night. I remember Cody saying like, "Hey, we got to see how he is with the crowd noise because the crowd is back." He comes Sugar Rush Allen jittery. We'll see. Yeah. The thing is I can't call him accurate. I can't say he regressed until that offensive line plays correctly.
Here's the thing, and to what you just said. So last year this time, Josh Allen was 8th, I believe, in clean pocket adjusted completion percentage. You know what he is now? I want you to guess. I want you to guess where he is right now. Out of all the starting quarterbacks in the league, guess where he is. So it's been 28 quarterbacks.
28.
He's second to last.
31.
So he ain't hitting from a clean pocket neither. Also, to the other point, though, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, the Bills' run O-line are in the bottom 4 in both blocking categories.
Yeah. That
also means something. And then on top of that, he has more pressure. He has 10 more pressure dropbacks than he had last year this time.
Yeah. And if he keeps playing this way, he's going to double or triple that amount that he had last year. But I tell you what, I saw the offensive line get a little bit better this game, especially as the game went on. Still not where they need to be, but I saw him get better. Like I said, as Dion recovers and gets in better game shape, as John Feliciano, I don't know, gets more comfortable, and hopefully Daryl Williams pick up, they'll be fine. At the very least, if you can't run block well, if you can get the two bookend tackles playing well again, you'll be fine. At the very least.
Well, let's remember they played against two really good defenses. Too.
Yep, I was just getting ready.
People just acting like they played against the Cincinnati Bengals or something. I mean, these defenses get after it.
Mm-hmm.
They get after it, and these are two opponents that's you're very, very familiar with over the last couple of seasons. So I mean, that's two really tough matchups to start the season for our offense.
And then you got Washington coming up, who got Chase Young, and then Jonathan Allen, who's the best interior pass rusher right now.
Yeah, so it ain't gonna get the road ain't getting no easier.
Yep.
I mean,
they prepared them for the later on the season. You want this at the beginning to get these boys right.
Hey, any people keep asking, any update on Levi Wallace? I haven't heard anything.
No, I haven't heard anything.
Only thing I heard is they worked out Quentin Dunbar. You know, I'm sorry, people. We will let give you updates, but I've heard nothing. I mean, maybe I call some of my people I know.
Our chat is pretty good at updates, though. So if we get an update, we put it out immediately. Like, we're great with that. So
listen, if you want to hear a tight-lipped organization, the Bills as tight-lipped as it gets. Nothing in, nothing out type of quarantine type of deal. You know what I mean? So no, so we don't have an update on Levi yet. But now I want to get to this third and final take, and then we'll move on to my final topic of the night here. Third and final take. Drum roll, please, James. Here we go. Third and final take. We always save the best for last. Too nice to be inside watching these overpaid athletes.
Stop watching.
Wait a minute.
That's pretty simple. Turn the TV off and go outside.
Wait a minute. Mind you, these takes were taken off a halftime post by the Bills. So these takes are from halftime of that game. Okay. I'm going to put this take back up here again. Too nice to be inside watching these overpaid athletes. First of all, you don't have to be inside to watch the game. You got a phone, you can watch it outside. You go to the game, you can go to a beach and a bar. Half the Bills Mafia was in Miami this year, watch it on the beach. You don't have to watch these athletes inside. 2, stop calling them overpaid. Just because they get paid more than you and me and you, I'm sorry, I wasn't born to be 6'4", 220 pounds with a 4'4", 40 and a 43-inch vertical. Okay, they're not overpaid, so stop it. 3, for you to put that, you had to be watching. And you probably were inside on your phone because you may be a little awkward. I'm just saying. I mean, look at this thing. Too nice to be inside watching these overpaid athletes.
And on top of that, on top of all that, got a grammatical error right at the beginning. It's TOO, not TO, bro. See? If you're gonna disrespect some athletes, at least do it correctly, bro.
Oh man.
It's supposed to be too nice to be inside watching these overpaid athletes.
Man,
come
bro.
on, man.
Come on, man.
What are we doing, man?
Why do you guys do this every week? It takes me like 5 minutes to find these. I just go to a post and I say, hey, which post are people going to be angry on? And I scroll, doop, yep, there's one. Scroll, doop, there's 2. Scroll, doop, there's 3. If you guys see other takes online too, by all means, most of you guys are my friends on my Facebook. Feel free to inbox me up. I mean, too nice to be inside to watch these overpaid athletes. You're probably inside. You're definitely watching the game and you're following something and you comment on the Bills post. Sit down somewhere. Have 2 seats, please. Like, what is wrong with people, man? But hey, I don't know. That's your bad take segment of the week. So every week next week we'll have 3 more. If it's a Bills loss, it's easy to pick from. If they lose again, I'm pretty sure we'll have some asking for Bean and McBurney to get fired. Week 1, we had somebody saying bench Allen and put Mitch Trubisky in. And the other week, the one person said, thank God I paid my mortgage instead of buying 4 tickets to this game. So,
jeez.
But that is your bad take segments of the week. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you guys for always giving us great quality content to blast you on. I appreciate you. Well needed. But my third and final topic of the night is probably the most controversial topic. So, and this is also going to be it's a personal moment of the day this week. Cole Beasley. Now we know we've heard from Cole all summer. Now, mind you, I'm not against vaccinations. I'm not for vaccinations. I just do what I'm told to I can go places that I want to go. So if you don't like getting vaccinated, that's cool. If you don't believe in the COVID-19, that's fine too. I am not here at all to judge you on how you believe or which way you believe. Not at all. And I'm not here to judge Cole Beasley in the way he believes there that here or there either. But what I will say is Cole Beasley is kind of being a distraction at this point. I feel like he is because if you guys paid attention last week, there's been multiple times that Cole Beasley has said this year that he's not going to talk about the vaccine anymore. He's not going to talk about COVID. He's going to leave it alone to play football. And I don't want this to seem like it's a shut up and dribble type moment because it's not. And every time something pops up with the vaccination, Cole Beasley is right on site, like a reporter for Channel 4, tweeting something. So this week, once the Bills released their new vaccine policy, which I know a lot of people are upset about, I'm not going to get to it. Cole Beasley starts to buy fans that he will buy unvaccinated fans tickets to away games. I have no issue with him buying fans tickets to away games. I have a problem with him publicly doing it because to me, it almost felt like he was going against the organization at this point in time. And every time that someone says something that's pro-vaccine, Cole Beasley has something to say. Listen, we're in the Super Bowl window. If anybody on this roster knows how fast Super Bowl window could close or how you not to reach a Super Bowl in that window, it's Cole Beasley because he missed it with Buffalo last year and he missed it with Dallas in multiple seasons. EJ, is Cole Beasley becoming a distraction? And James, we're going to switch it over to you right after.
He's been a distraction since the summer. I said he was a distraction, but the thing is, though, he's a good player, man. That's the thing, and he's one of the leaders on his team. So it's tough for me to say like, yeah, they should definitely get rid of him. But at this point, I agree with you, Jeremy. It seems like every single time there's something about the vaccine, he's right there, even though he's telling us that he's pro-choice and all this other stuff. It's just like, bro, if you don't care about it that much, why do you keep talking about it? And
Right.
his stuff and his rhetoric, his monologues and things, they sound so against vaccines, but he's saying that he's not one way or the other. Yes, he is a huge distraction. Even Coach McDermott has said in the summer, I wish he wouldn't do stuff like that, or I wish he wouldn't put us in this type of situations, but he continuously does it. So to your point, Jeremy, when is enough enough? When is enough? When is the organization gonna be like, we're just gonna cut ties, we're just gonna trade you and let you be somebody else's issue? He's a great player. He has created the most separation of any slot receiver in the past 3 years. He gets open. So through 2 games, I can't really say he's a distraction because the team ain't been playing as great as we all thought they would. So we can't say that he's an actual distraction. But as we posted in our chat, was that a couple days ago or last week? Every team that had issues with the vaccine or had some type of offseason noise all lost in week 1. So that's just something to think about.
Well, that's my thing, and that's why I said last week on the show was anything that was a distraction, anything that was not copacetic. After you went home and you lost that home opener in a game that people were just picking you just to maul this team in, all the white noise should have been just faded to the background. It should have been okay. This is a wrap. We gotta get focused. No more of this BS. But then yet again, like you just said, here comes something with co-vaccination. Here come Cole Beasley. Hey, look it's me, Cole again. And it's like, dude, like, yo, we get it, bro. I hear you. I get you. I'm with you. Bills Mafia supporting you. James, you've been in NFL locker rooms. Can this be a distraction?
Can it be? Yes. Do I believe he is? No. Here's why. This is a touchy subject. There's probably, for all you know, there's probably more than half the locker room that feel the same exact way as him, and they're just not voicing it publicly. He could be the spokesperson for a lot of people in the locker room. Yep. I know there's people who've gotten vaccinated just so they didn't have to get tested. They didn't believe in the vaccination, but they did it just so they didn't have to deal with a lot of the BS, the testing, and all other stuff you got to go through. But I don't believe it's a distraction to the team. If it was, I think it would have been kind of nipped in the bud by now. As strong as the leadership is in the front office and in the locker room outside of Cole Beasley, I think that's something that they would have addressed. And then you got to be careful with locker rooms too, because if you get into a situation where a coach or a GM or the front office is trying to keep people hush hush, guys who are in the league pay attention to that. Nobody wants to be in a locker room where they want you to be a robot. Think about it. Most of the guys that go to New England are guys that's ring chasing. Not guys that's kind of looking for, not the kind of guys that we would kind of look for in free agency, so to say. So the big name free agents usually don't go to New England. I've heard things about New England. I'm not gonna get into it. But you don't want to be viewed that way. There may be a free agent that you want who want to be yourself. He may be a different type of dude. And he might be like, that's not the spot for me. I can't be myself there. I got to be this way. I got to be almost like a robot. So, you got to be real, real careful with that. Let's not forget, these are grown men. These aren't kids. These aren't college students. These are grown men, families, wives, so you're going to have 53 different personalities in there. I don't think that he's really a distraction to the locker room. To us and fans, we may view it as a distraction because national media talk about it. But, think about the guys in the locker room that don't really pay attention to social media, pay attention to the news. To be honest with you, I'm not a social media dude. I have it. Do I check it? Yeah, of course. But honestly, if it wasn't for business and reaching out to certain people, like running the things I do, I promise you, I would get rid of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram today. I don't need it. I'm comfortable in my own life and got enough going on and enjoy things the way it is to where I don't need it. And there's a lot of people like that in NFL locker rooms where they really don't pay attention to social media or pay attention to the media. So we can say a distraction all day, but some guys like, listen, that's how Cole feel. We trying to win. I don't really care how he feels. It's kind of like a situation in regards to NASA with the coming out of this gay thing. Dudes didn't care. Like, dude, let's go win. I don't care about all that. People may think that's a distraction. Man, that didn't affect them Raiders dudes at all. I mean, it's the same. I view it as the same type of situation here. You may have your own opinion about it, but listen, dude, as long as you coming in, you working your tail off, you're a respectful person, you got your opinion, it falls in line with politics for me. You move on. You're like, dude, that's how you feel. Let's go win. Let's go put this work in. We laugh, joke, have a good time. We teammates. How you feel is how you feel. That is what it is. I don't think it's a distraction in the locker room.
And then to play devil's advocate real quick. So, and I equivocate this to like the KD free agency situation. So since you're constantly talking about vaccinations, how do you think other players feel about constantly being asked those questions about vaccinations? It's not even like, I feel one way or the other. It's the fact that I have to constantly keep asking these questions. We saw those press conferences in the summer where they kept asking Josh about vaccinations constantly over and over again, and to the point where we would just all get upset. It's just like, bro, we want to understand what's going on with football. What are you working on? What are you getting better at? We don't care about vaccinations. That's the part that I can see from the other side. It's just like, yo, why do you keep asking us these questions? And when you do stuff like that, when Cole Beasley does stuff like that, it's like, oh, Jordan Poyer, what do you think about what Cole Beasley said about the vaccinations, putting you in tough situations, kind of like what the Warriors were with KD's free agency. And they kept asking him about, well, what do you think KD's going to do in free agency? La, 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 la. It creates an issue like that. Like, you're indirectly, and this is where the media comes in. The media indirectly creates situations. And so how do you think players feel about that?
Well, the PR team prepares you for those tough questions, though. When you go out there, there's PR guys in there that's their job, and they're on salary to prep you for the difficult things. They're going to prep you for, listen, they're going to ask you 50 million times about the vaccination. This is how you probably want to go about it. These guys are prepped for that. So it's not coming like out of nowhere. They're prepped for that. They're prepared for that. So that's why I think it's just really not that much of a distraction. Maybe a couple guys are annoyed with it, but I don't think it's really a distraction. That's just my opinion.
All right. So for me, and I'm going to touch on this really quickly, and then we'll move on and you're in this episode. There was a report in August saying that Sean McDermott was frustrated with the Bills' vaccination percentage, and that way their Bills were at 50% or sitting right at 50 or a little bit under, and he was frustrated. Obviously, you can see his frustration fill over with the questions as EJ has alluded to. Yeah, you keep asking, and they got tired of answering it. 3, obviously, if you go back to the summer, I know a lot of people, some people may have missed it, but the little argument that Jerry Hughes, when you talk about the locker room and arguing, because somebody put in the chat that they didn't hear any player say anything about it, but there was a public argument or public spat that, yeah, him and Jerry made up, but public spat on Twitter about over the vaccination and about Jerry Hughes tweeting out, I'm here, I got vaccinated because I'm just here to win the Super Bowl. I'm doing what I got to do for my team. Everybody needs to do that. And Cole kind of responded because I think he was kind of calling Cole out subliminally. So these are the type of problems that you have. Now, if you're winning, if this Bills team is 2-0, I don't think this is a problem. But you drop one of the next 2 games or 2 of the next 3 or 2 of the next 4, and you're sitting at 500 when at this point in time, people are picking you to be 5-1 or 4-2, something like that. Ugliness starts to rear its head when you start losing, when you start underachieving. That's when ugliness starts rearing its head. So right now, I don't think this is a distraction. But you come out and you drop this game to Washington, and you're sitting at 1-2, everything's gonna be a distraction. Josh Allen's $258 million contract is gonna be a distraction. Cody Ford status is gonna be a distraction. Tremaine Edmonds' looming contract is gonna be a distraction. Trey White's extension is gonna be an distraction. But the main thing they're gonna say, the first thing they're going to be, just like they say with everything right now, is going to be something related to COVID, pandemic, and Cole Beasley's name is going to come up. And you're going to go back and you're going to look how many times he trended on Twitter this summer talking about this vaccination. Like I said, I don't want to make this a shut up and dribble type of moment. But the point is like, listen, dude, we're in the Super Bowl window. We understand your beliefs. I respect your beliefs as a man and as a player and as a human. I don't disagree with it or agree with it. That's your beliefs. That's fine. But this team is in a Super Bowl window. This is not the NBA where your window is 5 to 6, sometimes 7 years. This window could be 1 year. It could be 2. It could be 3. It may be 4. But the window is right now. Play ball. That's all I'm asking you to do is play ball. Yeah, if you want to buy 10,000 fans, unvaccinated fans, tickets to away games, go ahead. Do so. Cool. I'm cool with that. I love it. But don't make it a public spectacle, because what you just did made it seem like you went at your locker room. You went at your organization. The Bills aren't doing this because they want to do this. You think the Pagulas don't want to have their stands filled with 65 screaming fans? They don't want to do that. It wouldn't make any sense. They're in this business to make money. They're losing money doing this. You think they want to do that? Absolutely not. So when people say, hey, yeah, they want to keep us out, they don't want to keep anybody out. They lose money. It's a business. Hell, and trust me, Buffalo is the lowest rated franchise for revenue every year. So we need every dollar we can get before we get that brand new stadium. I mean, it's just it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, just play ball, man. Because like I said, Ray Cruz says in the chat, the media is looking for billboard material. They care less what players feel. Exactly. They're going to use you as a martyr. And they used Cole Beasley as a martyr twice already. And every time he says something, you see it on ESPN, you see NFL.com, you see it on all these reporters' Twitters. When have you ever seen anybody from the Bills say anything in the last 25 years that trended? Never. No one cared. You put people like Mike Rodak and reporters who were probably ESPN's worst reporters in the area to cover the team, because no one will know them anyway. So, nah, man, just play ball. And I do think it can become a distraction. But if at the end of the day, and I'm sorry to say this, but I'll be the one to say it. If you believe Sean McDermott, and this is random being, if you believe that Cole Beasley is going to be a distraction, then move him. A lot of people ain't going to agree with it. It's an unpopular opinion. If you think he's going to be a distraction, then move him. Because I'm going to tell you like this. When Emmanuel Sanders came in, and EJ, you were on your show in the summer when we signed Emmanuel Sanders. I think, James, you were on the show too as well. When you signed Emmanuel, it made a few receivers kind of expendable. And I'm not saying you could replace what Cole Beasley does, but I can tell you that Emmanuel Sanders could do everything that Cole Beasley does and more, and a little better. And I'm okay with him moving into the slot full time if you have to.
They can win a Super Bowl without Cole Beasley.
James?
He definitely can win the Super Bowl without Cole Beasley.
Yep.
I'm just saying, you know.
There's only a handful of players on this team that if they lose would affect their Super Bowl chances.
Yeah. If Levi Wallace go down, they're done.
Well, you know what? I mean, I'm listen, man. Let me talk about man, Levi, man.
Why you laughing? And I called this out. Teron Johnson, I told you he's gonna get paid. I told you that. I've been telling y'all that. He's about to get paid big money. Somebody's gonna pay Levi Wallace too. Watch.
Oh yeah, Levi. Honestly, Levi Wallace is the best cornerback on the team right now.
You know what? All right, just all right.
They're going that damn Trey hate.
No,
I knew. Hold
on. Before y'all start, Teron Johnson is the most targeted slot corner in the league right now. 0 touchdowns given up.
Okay.
And has an over a 70+ PFF grade.
Okay.
Levi Wallace has played a smidge better than Trey White. Now, I'm not going to go on a Trey White tangent because everybody thinks I'm a hater, but I've been told that if I'm going to bring this subject up, I need to have stats and facts, right? So didn't y'all tell me that people don't throw at Trey White, right? That's what y'all told me, right?
3.6 targets a game normally.
Yeah, right.
He got targeted 13 times versus Miami.
You know who else got 13 targets?
Levi Wallace.
They both got the same amount of targets.
I know. I looked at the stats.
I'm just saying. And Levi looked a little bit better in the same amount.
He looked a little bit better, but hold on now. Hold on. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna come back at you. They both been targeted at the same time, but our defense has been lights out in 2 games. Now Trey. Now I'll tell you, Trey does not look in midseason form yet to me, but he ain't getting beat for touchdowns, and he ain't getting beat that bad.
Wait, hold on. Devontae Parker dropped a touchdown yesterday.
It don't matter. He dropped it. I mean, that ain't Trey White bought.
And see, that's the type of thinking right there. It don't matter. He dropped it. It's the fact that he even had the opportunity to make the play. And like I told somebody else in the chat today, it's not the fact that he dropped the touchdown. It's the fact that Trey White's coverage did not affect it. That is the issue. It's the same play. The same play that Devontae Parker dropped was the same play that DeAndre Hopkins made over 3 people. So it's a difference between Hopkins and Parker, right? And for all intents and purposes, he was kind of struggling with Devontae Parker yesterday. He gave up 3 first downs.
Yeah, but he always, first of all, Devontae Parker usually has a pretty solid game versus the Bills normally. Devontae Parker is a pretty solid NFL receiver when he's healthy.
We can all agree that he's not like top 15 or top 20. I can name 20 receivers that I would take over Devontae Parker. I'm not saying he's a scrub. I'm just saying that he's not like a top 15 or top 20 wide receiver.
I'd say this about Devontae Parker. I'd say that if Devontae Parker stayed healthy and had a consistent quarterback in Miami, which he has not had, because let's include that Devontae Parker is not a consistent quarterback play. Devontae Parker would be a top 15 receiver in NFL. But Devontae Parker's biggest problem besides the quarterback issue is health. But when he's healthy, Devontae Parker
are you talking about production top 15 or top 20 or ability top 15, top 20?
I'm talking about ability, eye test together.
Ability and eye test together, he's top 20 in the discussion. Ability
back end of the top 20.
If ability,
back end,
production.
Back end of the top. Okay, back end of the top 20. He'll just crack top 20. Okay.
You said top 20. You ain't say where. You said top 20.
We can agree to disagree. I don't think he's a top 20 wide receiver.
It don't work that way, my man. It don't work that way. You said top 20. It's either he's top 20 or not. The answer is yes. And
okay.
I asked you, was it ability or production? You said ability.
Where's Trey White? Where's Trey White? Your quarterback rankings then?
Still top 7 for me.
Top 7, right?
He's top 7.
He's top 5. Okay. So there's a difference, so like I was making a point with Hopkins. There's a difference between the best receiver in the NFL and then the 20th best receiver in the NFL. There's a difference between the top 3 cornerbacks in the NFL and then top 7 or 8. There's a difference between the two. And this is my only point that I always try to make on this.
But now
subject.
you're going off production.
I'm not straight going off production.
Hold on. You make some production and ability. Ability and production is 2 different things. There's guys that have rare athletic freakish ability but don't have the production. Sammy Watkins is one of those guys. He probably has a top 5 ability in the NFL, but his production doesn't match
Good
that.
question.
So you can't mix and match him when you want. Stay with one or the other. We talking production or are we talking ability? Now, we got guys that's freaks in the NFL where you're talking about their ability, their top 5. But then we're talking about production. Stop mixing it, man. That's not a fair argument. You can't do that.
Wait, why can't I do that?
You can't do that. I just asked you if you were ranking the corners or the receivers off ability or production. You said ability, correct? And then you went over to the corners and talked production.
Right, a mixture of both. But if you get the mixture of both, Trey White is top 3 for both. With the mixture, because production wise, he's top 3 over the last couple of years. Yes, he is. Production wise, if you're talking,
so you're telling me over the past 3 years he's been better than Ramsey, Gilmore, and Xavier? No, he's not better than those 3. He has not been.
He's been better than Ramsey. Where's the production from Ramsey though? That Trey White has. You're talking about production now. You're talking about turnovers and different things like that. Where's the production? Because Trey White has had less targets. Trey White has given up less yards. Trey White has caused more turnovers. So the production in Trey White it's higher for him.
Where do you get these production numbers from? I'll give you this. He's been 5th.
Jalen Ramsey gave 800 yards receiving last year.
Okay.
Trey White gave up like 500. That's 300 yards a year.
Number one, Trey White missed 2 games, didn't he? He missed a game or 2, didn't he not? Yeah,
last year. One game, right?
He missed 1 game,
so
right?
I'll give you 100 yards on AJ Brown, and he's still at 600. That's still 200 yards.
And then on top of that, who did Jalen Ramsey go up against? You told me competition mattered 2 weeks ago. Remember that? You told me competition mattered, right?
Yeah.
What did he do against DK? What did Trey White do against DK?
Trey White gave what did he give? What did he give against DK?
He gave up, and if I'm not mistaken, it was 2 20+ yard plays plus a defensive pass interference call.
So he gave 70 yards.
See, that's the thing about cornerback play. When you're a lockdown, shutdown corner, like y'all say he is, like it's only a difference in between like 2 or 3 plays before you being labeled garbage or being labeled a bad performance because they barely get thrown at. These guys that you guys are saying is top 5 or that we are saying is top 5, they only get a certain amount of opportunities in the game to show that like they're top 5. So my point is when Trey White goes up against these guys that are like actually as good a wide receiver as he is a corner that y'all say he is, he don't do that.
So then why are teams confidently targeting Jalen Ramsey then? Because by your statistics right here, right? You say as the elite corner, you only get a certain amount of times to prove yourself. Right. But Trey White has more interceptions, has given up less yards, has given up less receptions than Jalen Ramsey. So he's in his less times to prove himself, he's had more production than Jalen Ramsey.
But y'all just told me it's not all about production, correct?
No. I asked you when you asked about the rankings. I asked, are you basing it off ability or production? I asked you a simple question. I know I'm not. That's all I asked you when we were talking about Parker. I said, was it based off ability or was production?
I said it was based off.
That's
both.
what I asked.
I said it was based off both. For me, it's based off both. For me.
And I'm gonna give you. And to ask a question about the Devontae Parker thing, Ray Cruz asked us a great question in the chat. Would you take Devontae Parker or Cole Beasley?
It depends how it depends. It really does depend.
Depends on what.
If I need an outside receiver and Devontae Parker is healthy, I may take Devontae Parker. But if I need strictly a slot, I'm taking Cole Beasley. It's different because they play 2 different roles. That's not even
your
the same
offensive
type of
coordinator. You're taking one for your offense. What are you taking? What's more important, the outside or the slot guy for you?
Well, outside guy, no question about it. It's outside guy.
So you're taking Devontae Parker. If you had to pick, you're taking Devontae Parker. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And Devontae Parker is also younger too. He's also younger than Cole Beasley. Also,
so
that factors into it. But to answer your question specifically, yes, I take Devontae Parker.
James Parker.
Yeah, I would take Parker.
I'm taking Parker all day. I'm already ready to replace Cole Beasley with Emmanuel Sanders, and they're on the same team. So I mean, I'm cool with it.
Well, to be honest with you, Deontay Johnson's a better slot than Cole Beasley.
Deontay Johnson's on his way in. If Pittsburgh don't pay that dude in a couple of years, he'll look real nice in the red, white, and blue. That's all I'll say there.
Him and Reggie was teammates. Reggie Gilliam was his teammates in Toledo. You know how I feel about Toledo. There's teammates.
He need to catch the ball consistently, but I do like Deontay Johnson too, though.
He does. I mean, even with all the drops, he's still getting 90 catches a year.
You can't have that. Last year he did. Excuse me.
I'll take it. The Bills been leading the league in drops in like the last 3 years. So I mean, he'll fit right in. Diggs had what 9 last year. Beasley had another 7. Dawson Knox had another 6. John Brown had like 5. So
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, and shot before we go on. Shout out Dawson Knox.
yeah,
I've been one of his biggest critics. He has no drops, and he had a touchdown. What was that? Week before or this
yeah.
week?
Yeah, this week.
This week,
This week, right? Yeah, touchdown off a play action, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. He's playing great. I always talk about players when they play good.
Mhm.
Dawson
And
Knox has been playing
he's
well.
also the one who had the block to spring that Singletary run too. A lot of people
Major
don't
block.
talk about that.
He's-
Now, EJ, you brought that up in the summer when we did sign Jacob Hollister. That although unfortunately, Hollister is not in with the team anymore, but Hollister and Knox were 2 of the better run blocking tight ends in the NFL. You brought that point up, and I remember you bring it up, and that game showed. Dawson Knox does a lot of sneaky things that people don't look at. He's a
been
solid
playing really
football
well, and I'm glad to see. I'm glad he's shutting me up.
He has confidence. But hey, guys, I mean, we already an hour in, and we ain't got to a whole Trey hate debate.
Good one tonight, y'all. It was a good one, fellas.
It was a good one, but you know what? Time will tell. Maybe EJ may be right by the end of the season. Maybe we'll say
EJ's
right.
point has already been proven, but it's just gonna take y'all a minute to get around to it because y'all love him so much. But that's
I don't love anybody. I'm just saying,
I'm a
man.
film guy. I'll look at film and I'll see. Well, that's another story. We'll be on all day, but that's another story.
I mean, I seen the film that Nate Mendelsohn put on Twitter with his 3 catches against Pittsburgh. I saw those for the 3 for 46. So I mean, I'm watching everything.
And all I want to say is that those same plays that Trey did not make against the Steelers, Jalen made 2 of those plays in a row Sunday night against the Bears. That's why I'm saying there's a difference between the top corner.
We talking about the Bears,
but you just said the Bears though.
We talking about the Bears.
That's a whole different ball game.
EJ, really,
Bruh.
Really?
They ran the same type.
Yeah, but it's not the same team run. Come on now, I hear you, but I can't. When you start talking about the Bears offense, I mean, the Bears been looking. We got their quarterback as a backup right now, man. I mean, I'm just
and he will be the best quarterback on their roster right now.
Who's the best quarterback on their roster?
I ain't doing my man Justin like that.
No, right now he's not better than him. He's going to be
at
the very moment. He's not better. He's not better right now at this moment as we speak.
Yeah. Somebody asked. Oh, someone Cindy asked that. No, David asked that John Brown find a new team yet.
No, he did not. He asked to be released and has not been on another team yet.
Well, I mean, he'd be smart to come. If we need a receiver mid-season, this would be probably the team for him to come back.
If somebody get hurt, he'll be here.
Oh, most definitely. Vet minimum, 1 year. Yeah, most definitely. But hey, this is coming to the end of the show, man. This is a good show. We talked about a lot of things today. We had the bad takes, which I mean, I'm still stuck on the inside take. We talked about Cole Beasley. We broke it down. How we feel about that. The Bills. Shout out to my man Greg Rousseau. Matter of fact, I want to give James credit. James called Greg Rousseau having 2 sacks last week. He did call it, and Rousseau had 2 sacks this week. And you called one more thing last week as well.
Oh, that we will have a D lineman now.
Yeah, F.A. Obata will be out probably. Or Harris Felton. They both were out inactive. So James 2-0 on the predictions, the bold prediction. We should start doing
having them inside tips. That's why. That's why he be having them inside tips.
We should start doing every week and keeping stats of that and how we do. But yeah, remember, Rosu is up for Rookie of the Week. So Bills Mafia, do your thing, go out there and vote. And another thing I'll be announcing tonight too. We're going to be pushing a campaign. So you guys know last year when Patricia Allen, Josh Allen's grandmother died, and we were able to raise a millions of dollars to, I think it was Oshai's children for cancer. It was Oshai's, right? I think it was Oshai's. It may have been. I don't want to mix that up, but we were able to raise a lot of money. So we're going to be starting a campaign because obviously you guys know a friend of the show, Zach Moss, aunt passed away, and a lot of people don't know. And I wanted to say, you never know what these football players are going through. You know, you see them playing the game, and they don't wear their emotional sleeve. They don't tell their personal story. But Zach actually had to attend his aunt's funeral Saturday morning and play the game, and it's almost like divine intervention that the game was in Miami and he's actually at home to be able to do everything at once. You know, sometimes we can be in a bad situation, be blessed to actually be in a good situation around friends and family, so we're in a good headspace. And he proceeded to have 2 touchdowns after a tough fumble. And I'm happy that the Bills stuck with him in that game and didn't just bench him, because you could have easily taken him out and put Breida in and left Breida in if you really wanted to. But he did. He came back. He bounced back. I donated $20 today to the Lackawanna Life Center, which is part of Zach's charity charitable cause, where he's trying to raise $9 million for Lackawanna Life Center for inner city children in Lackawanna, New York. So I think we're going to be helping start a campaign where maybe we can do something similar that everybody did for Josh Allen last year and donate. If you can't donate $20, because we usually use the jersey number, but if you can't donate 20, donate what you can to try to raise money for a good cause to say thank you to Zach for just being honestly inside the Buffalo and New York community, but also being show them that as a fan base we grieve with you. So we're gonna be doing that. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, you guys got any final thoughts? Anything personal on your mind, there, James?
Donate if you can. It's for a good cause. Just donate if you can, you guys. I mean, it's just unfortunate, man. My prayers go out to Zach Moss and his family, man. That's tough, man, to go out there, bury a loved one, and then have to go out and play a game. So my prayers, and if you can afford it, if you can do it, if it's possible for you financially, go ahead and donate. I will be doing that today or tonight, if not first thing in the morning.
All right, EJ, you got anything personal outside of
Definitely same thing. Just to echo the same thing. Shout out to Zach Moss. My prayers and condolences go out to his family for his loss, and like big ups to him for going out there, and still playing after that tough situation that he had to endure. So he'll definitely be in my prayers. So like you said, everyone has echoed. If you can donate, definitely donate. I'm definitely will be donating.
Yeah. So, and I know a lot of people are looking for the link, because I actually saw it. My man Pat Matthews hit me up and was like, "Hey, did you see this?" So we're going to be helping start a campaign, and I'll be putting the link all over Cold Front Reports, social media pages, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And let's see what we can do. I mean, Bills Mafia, we put our heads to. We do some pretty amazing things as a fan base, pretty amazing. So it does take us a lot of work to make things happen. So let's do this. Let's see what we can raise for these inner city kids in honor of Zach's aunt. But guys, that's it. I mean, my personal take tonight was Cole Beasley, so I want him to the end of the show, as we already did it. I want to thank my guys for joining me in the locker room tonight. EJ Daniels, James Mallory. James Mallory got them vets playing this week, right?
Yes, sir. We play Niagara Wheatfield this week. 7 p.m. Buffalo Vets Field. If you're not doing nothing, 133, 5, and 7, our 4 teams play. Come on out. 137 Manhattan Avenue, Buffalo, New York. 14215. Come on out. Our concession stand is best in West New York. So come out, have some food, and watch football.
Still good. The Hut's still good. The Hut's still good. EJ, what you got going on? I know you got some scout going on. You're traveling New Jersey. What's up with you?
Yeah, I'm in New Jersey right now, covering high school football. Got a game to go to Friday. So yeah, be on the shot. Look out for my on my Twitter feed, because I know a lot of the people who watch this follow me on Twitter, and I interact with it on Twitter. Follow me to support the local high school kids here. High school kids. I was just being informed that high school kids don't get a lot of coverage if you're not like one of these big guys that's being covered by Max Preps or one of these other big high school sites. So show some love to the high school kids, because Monday it might be your kid out there that's playing high school football, and you would definitely want some recruiters to come see him. Never know what type of opportunities that it can lead to. So definitely support these high school athletes.
Yeah, you're totally right. There was a guy named Josh Allen that wasn't heavily recruited out there in Fireball, California. Could be next Josh Allen you're missing on. Hey, you're right. Could be next Josh Allen you're missing on.
Could be.
But hey, guys, I want to thank y'all for tuning in tonight. It was a great show. We went long tonight, but this was fun, man.
Good stuff. Good stuff, man.
It go quick when you're having fun, man. Yeah. Thank my guys again, James Mallory, EJ Daniels, for joining me, and I'll catch you guys next Tuesday, and same time, same place, 9:30. It's nothing personal, just Bills. And guys, it's just business, man. I ain't got nothing personal against you. We'll see who on the panel next week. Maybe these 2 guys will come back. Maybe we'll add somebody else. Maybe we'll add a lady to the panel.
Hey,
and I think about bringing some trivia in the near future. So maybe we'll start doing some trivia along with the bad takes. And yeah, man, let's keep the ball rolling. Bill's playing Washington this week at home. Let's try to get the 2-1. Josh, the offensive line better get together. You're going to be running around like a chick with your head cut off. Tune in this week, Friday. Travis Blakesley, Friday Night Forecast. Clayton Garrett, Mookie Hawkins, Saturday Night Tailgate. And then we'll be back here Sunday for your post-game show. We got a full lineup for you, baby. Without that, tune in. Thanks for tuning in. Always tune in to everything Cold Front. And make sure you check out the great articles at www.coldfrontreport.com. Peace.